Hi, listen, before we start this video, I'm gonna introduce it real quick. If you don't want to hear the introduction, I'm gonna leave a timestamp in the description for when the video starts. I just want to say, so pretty much what we're doing in this video, okay, so we're kind of reacting to a video by Rusty Buckets. If you don't know who that is, I'll link his channel in the description. We're not going to react to it. I'm just going to skip to all the trades. I'm not even going to hear his explanation. I'm just going to look at all the trades, and I'm going to give my thoughts on the trades. That's pretty much what we're doing. Bro, I really had to make my camera this small. But pretty much, okay. So the first trade, Brooklyn Nets get Al Horford. The 76ers get Joe Harris, and the Thunder get Danny Green and DeAndre Jordan. Let's see. So the Nets, they give up Joe Harris and DeAndre Jordan for Al Horford. It really depends. Okay, so Al Horford, he actually does fit your need in an actual, because DeAndre Jordan is definitely nowhere near the defensive player he was back in his heyday 5 years ago. But it's just like, honestly, like it's an upgrade from the center position, but you're giving up depth. So like, the Nets just got Blake Griffin. So right now they have a starting lineup, and this is if Blake starts. I mean, I don't know. Would they start Blake at the 5? I don't think they start Blake at the 5. So I think it would go Kyrie, Harden, KD, Blake, and DeAndre Jordan with Joe Harris off the bench. So in this trade, you're trading DeAndre Jordan and a bench player when the Nets already don't have a bench, but they are getting a defensive player, which is what they need, because we don't know if Blake Griffin's actually going to play defense. Like, he's never been a guy to play very great defense, and now at his old age, injury prone. I don't know. Nets fans, if anyone are watching, what do you think about this? Honestly, for the 76ers, I think it's a win, because you're just giving up Danny Green, you get Joe Harris, that's an upgrade. I mean, you already have great defensive pieces around you. So I think that's a good trade. And the Thunder, you get Al Horford's contract. They got that Al Horford contract for picks, and they just got rid of it for what? Just having to pay DeAndre Jordan $10 million, Danny Green's expiring. I think that's a win for the 76ers and Thunder. It's really, because if you really think about it, okay, think about this, right? Al Horford, let's say he plays 30 minutes. Let's say Blake plays 30 minutes. Let's say KD plays 38. Let's say Harden plays 38. Let's say Kyrie plays 38. That's only 10 plus 10. That's 30. That's only like 60 minutes to split between the bench. And you have Jeff Green, who can give you 20 minutes. You have Bruce Brown. You really only need to play 3 players off the bench. Like I'm talking about in the playoffs. In the regular season, you're not going to play these minutes as much. I actually like it. I'm not gonna lie. I really love this trade. I'm not gonna lie. At first I didn't, but Horford, it definitely fits this team. Alright, next we got the Bucks and Wizards. Bucks give up Davis Bertans and Garrison Matthews for Brook Lopez and DJ Wilson. And let's see. Okay, so pretty much I'm going to explain the Bucks. I think the Wizards, just off the rip, just looking at it, I think this is a great trade, honestly, because Brook Lopez is like the perfect fit for the Wizards. He's a stretch 5. When you're playing with Russell Westbrook, you need a stretch 5. But Brook Lopez is a stretch 5 that can also play defense. He hasn't been playing as good recently, but I mean, it is what it is. But for the Bucks, that's the thing. Okay, so right now, like, what centers do the Bucks have? They have Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez. So if Giannis is willing to play the 5, and you could put Davis Bertans at the 4, and what's that? Middleton at the 3, Drew Holiday at the 2. At the 1, and then Dante DiVincenzo at the 2. That's a great trade. If Giannis is willing to play the 5 and start at the 5. I know he's willing to play at the 5, but if he starts at the 5, then I like this trade. I like this trade a lot. But if he's not, then I don't think there's a point. You just need to keep Brook Lopez. And you also get, Garrison Matthews probably won't play minutes on a championship team, but yeah. And I had to shrink my screen even more. But pretty much this trade, Boston Celtics get Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, Ben McLemore, and the Rockets get the $28 million trade exception and Tremont Waters. This is going to be the first trade that I disagree with. I'm pretty sure he made this trade for, the Celtics, because he was like doing every single NBA Eastern Conference team. But I think it is actually a great trade for the Celtics, because they have this trade exception. Their goal was, get Vucevic or get Jeremy Grant or someone. That's not realistic. They're going to have to trade like Jaylen Brown, and they're not willing to do that. So, or even like, Kemba, but no one wants Kemba. So I think it's actually good, because it gives the Boston Celtics a lot of depth. But the Rockets, I just don't see them. Maybe this season specifically, they might go for a high lottery pick. But like next year, they have Christian Wood, who will hopefully be healthy. They have Oladipo. They have John Wall, actually, no, they don't have Oladipo under contract. I just don't see them tanking. And that this is a tanking kind of move. You're getting rid of PJ Tucker, who was on a 1 year. I'm not sure if there's like a player option or something after that. But you have Eric Gordon for 4 years. 16 million might be an overpay for sure, but it's still a quality NBA player. I just don't see the Rockets doing it. I don't think, yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but next year they might go for a run because Christian Wood's just that good. And that's the only reason they're losing. Okay, next is this trade, Justin Holiday for Kevin Knox. I'm going to just automatically say this is a terrible trade because, I mean, Knicks fans actually or some Knicks fans really love Knox. And I don't see why the Knicks would give him up. And then Justin Holiday, he's already on the Pacers with Aaron Holiday. And just trading that duo, it's like neither team really gets better, I don't think. I just don't see the appeal of this trade. Okay, I just had to actually watch this video. That's why I have the headphones to see the logic in this trade. Karl Anthony Towns for these 4 Bulls players. It's not even just no. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next is Joe Harris for Miles Turner. I had to watch the video again to see the logic on this, and Rusty was pretty much saying how, like, if they thought that the Miles Turner Sabonis duo doesn't work, the Miles Turner Domantas Sabonis duo does work. It's just the amount of injuries they've had, and like those two plus Brogdon have been their only players really that have been good. When they have T.J. Warren, they had Victor Oladipo, they had they had Caris LeVert, or no, they had T.J. Warren, and they just got Caris LeVert. And I don't know. I think they need to become healthy before any trades are made, so I don't think this is a good trade at all. Obviously, for the Nets, this is an amazing trade, but yeah, for the Pacers, no. Next is a Miles Bridges for John Collins swap. I'm a Hawks fan. You can see, I probably should have went right here, right there. I'm a Hawks fan, and I honestly have the belief that we should probably, not that we should keep John Collins. I mean, personally, John Collins is like my second favorite player on that team besides DeAndre Hunter. I'm not gonna lie, Trae Young isn't even top 2, but John Collins, I think, is just a perfect fit for the Hawks, and it's just that we have to pay him. But my issue is no team is actually, if the Hornets are willing to pay $30 million for John Collins, and Miles Bridges is as good as a defender as people say, and he's like, he's fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, with like the LaMelo Ball highlights and how he's dunking it. If he's that good of a defender, I would love to do this trade. If he actually is that good of a defender, I mean, John Collins, like, I just think next to Capella and DeAndre Hunter, that's just a perfect, like, our defense has not been the issue this year. Honestly, it's been our offense. Actually, it's been kind of both we've been like average at, or a little bit below average. But if we have to trade John Collins, this is definitely actually a good trade. I mean, I think Miles Bridges might be coming off the bench. I think Gallo's going to start. And then for the Hornets, I mean, if you're willing to trade or to pay John Collins, I mean, you just paid. Will they afford this? Because, and even that, actually, PJ Washington will be at the 4. Are they going to put John Collins at the 5? Or I actually, as a Hawks fan, I got excited low-key for this trade, but actually, as a Hornets fan, I would not want to do this trade at all. So I don't see it happening. I would love it, but yeah, I don't think so. There's just the fit. Would you bench PJ Washington? And then, like, the defense between Cody Zeller and John Collins isn't that good. And you already have LaMelo Ball, who's not that good of a defender. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay, next up is Steven Adams for Thomas Bryant, Robin Lopez, Ish Smith, and Jerome Robinson. I actually really love this trade. The Wizards get a defensive big. It's just the contract is so bad. Or I think he's getting like, is he getting like $20 million a year after this year? I think he is. So it's not as bad as $30 million right now. I don't know how he's making $30 million. But I don't know. And then the Pelicans, they get a good center fit. The thing is, okay, is Thomas Bryant a good fit next to Zion? Kind of, because like Zion isn't a good defender, and Thomas Bryant isn't a good defender. Ingram's a decent defender. I mean, even if you have Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball, who are both good defenders, their team defense already has not been good, and now you add Thomas Bryant. I don't like that at all. Obviously, the Robin Lopez and Ish Smith, that's literally just for they're not going to return to the team. I mean, that's just for the salary. And then Jerome Robinson, he's a decent developing NBA player. I don't like, in theory, it's kind of good, but like that defense of Thomas Bryant and Zion is a no-go. This trade cannot happen. Okay, I'm not going to waste any time with this trade. It's pretty awful. I mean, the Nets get Larry Nance Jr., which is a great pickup, but I don't know, why would I have actually the team name. Okay, in case you didn't know that was the Cavaliers. You actually probably didn't know that, but why would the Cavaliers give up Larry Nance on a great contract, getting paid less than $12 million a year, who's amazing defensively, been shooting well, can finish amazingly, for DeAndre Jordan when they already have Jared Allen, they already have I actually don't know their backup center. Oh, Joe McGee, who actually has not even been playing that bad. And just Landry Shamet. This is a terrible trade. Great for the Nets, horrible for the Cavaliers. I don't need to say anymore. All right, next is Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green for Aaron Gordon. See, the thing is, I don't think this is that good of a trade, but it's actually a very realistic trade when you think. Okay, so for the Mavericks, I love this trade. You get a defensive four in Aaron Gordon next to Porzingis, and Aaron Gordon can finish lobs, he can shoot threes. Aaron Gordon's an amazing player. I love this trade for the Mavericks. For the Magic, it's one of those that you have to settle with because you can't run Aaron Gordon at the 3 or off the bench or something. You have to run Aaron Gordon at the 4. And you kind of have to, like, he is starting level talent. It's just, his injuries, and you have to compete next to Jonathan Isaac and, Vucevic and all these other bigs. I feel like it's a due time that you have to trade Aaron Gordon. And getting Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green is, even if, you have Evan Fournier and Terrence Ross, you have these shooting guards, small forwards, these wings that are just pure scorers, like, Terrence Ross and Evan Fournier. And you have a bunch of guards in Evan Fournier, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz. Now you're getting Josh Green. You have so many. You have Dwayne Bacon. So many to develop. It's kind of one of those that you just have to settle with. So I would not be mad if I was a Magic fan and this trade happened, because Tim Hardaway Jr. is a very good player, and Josh Green is, or not very. He's a good player, and Josh Green can develop into an amazing defensive player. So you just kind of have to settle with it, even if Aaron Gordon is probably worth more than these two. You got to do it. Okay, next up is Jeremy Grant for Iguodala, Maurice Harkless, Precious Achiuwa, and he did say 3 first-round picks. And this trade, I think... Okay, so I actually think Precious Achiuwa can be a very good NBA player, and then plus you get 3 first-round picks. And if something ends up... I mean, the Heat are never one of those teams that are, at the bottom of the lottery, or at the top, or however you say that, pretty much. One of the worst teams in the NBA. So those picks won't really mean anything, but... And the Pistons aren't even that good of a drafting team, so I don't even know how I feel about their side. And then the Heat side, for you to give up 3 first-round picks for a player and that much depth, I mean, pretty much, okay, like, when you make this trade, you have Jeremy Grant, Bam Adebayo, and Kelly Olynyk. Those are the 3 only playable bigs on the team, especially because Myers Leonard just got into some trouble for using some slur. Now, honestly, I've never even heard the slur before in my life, and I'm almost 18, but I guess maybe I'm uncultured. But for you to make that kind of trade with the Brooklyn Nets right now and the Bucks right now, that'd be a very ballsy trade. I'm not gonna lie, like, because when you trade 3 first rounds for someone, you're really trying to compete. You're really trying to win. And even though they made the finals last year, I'm honestly kind of doubting whether they make it past the first round this year, because unless they get like the 4th or 5th seed, if they get any lower than that, I mean, they're gonna have to be playing the Bucks, the 76ers, or the Nets, and it's like, do you give up 3 first rounders, especially on a team that can draft that well in the Heat, just to not even get past the first round? I don't know. If you really believe in your team, go for it. But the Pistons, like, Jeremy Grant, the thing is, are they really trying to keep Jeremy Grant like forever? And is Jeremy Grant really trying to go to a contender? Because isn't that why he signed? Because the Nuggets offered him $20 million. And the Pistons did, and he went to the Pistons because he wanted to put up the stats. Does he even want to go to the Heat? I don't know. And finally, Jarrett Culver and Ned Davis for DeLon Wright and Sekou Doumbouya. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I don't know. This is the last trade, by the way, and it's kind of useless. I don't know. They're kind of just trading young players. Oh, are you going to, play better on either team? I don't really think that's how it works, especially when these two have, like, nearly the exact same circumstances. I feel like if it's like a contender versus like going to a trash team, then something changes. But other than that, positional needs, there really isn't none, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this trade is good or bad, or it's like the most boring trade ever. But if you made it to the end, click that subscribe button, please. I actually really want to grind. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video, so that we can get more people out there to like watch my videos. I might actually upload more if I get more views, but I don't know. Also share the video. I don't know if there's some like horrible trade that you saw and I reacted to it in a way you didn't like, or someone else wouldn't like, just go ahead and do it. I don't really care. But alright, peace.